It is indeed so great a favor, so magnificent a bounty, to be present in this memorable gathering, this historic occasion. This is the day, says Baha'u'llah, in which God's most excellent favors have been poured out upon man. How can we adequately offer our gratitude, our thanksgiving to Baha'u'llah, who had enabled us to recognize him, the beloved of prophets of the past, in an age when majority of people denied him or ignored him. When a tree receives the life-giving embrace of sunshine and blessings from outpouring clouds, it tries its best to grow, and it grows not only as a matter of fact, but as a matter of duty. Therefore, it opens wide its arm in prayer towards heaven. It blossoms forth in joy and bows down in gratitude with its load of fruit. Are we going to be fruitless trees when Baha'u'llah has called us, "Ye are the trees in my garden, you must bring forth goodly and wondrous fruit"? Are we going to be fruitless trees when he says that fruitless trees are good only to be burned in fire? The greatest fruit in the tree of our existence would be our submission to the call of God and our surrender to his cause. Our translating in action what we are reading in our daily prayers. I have desired only what thou didst desire, and loved only what thou doest love. In fact, the history of spiritual civilization, history of religions, is written by those who have entirely given up themselves to the call of God. History of Christianity, for example, started from the day when Peter threw away his net to become the fisher of men. The expression of our submission to the cause of God has taken the various shapes in different epochs of our glorious history. Dawn breakers could prove their loyalty to the cause of God by performing heroic acts and giving their lifeblood for the cause. Later, putting swords in sheath and singing and dancing in the path of martyrdom registered our loyalty to the cause of God. Sometimes our firmness to the covenant was a manifestation of our loyalty to the cause of God. Sometimes our crushing our ego and giving up our opinion in favor of the opinion of majority in the spiritual assemblies and elsewhere was a sign of our obedience, our surrender, our submission to the cause of God. And in the immediate past, the 10-year spiritual crusade provided a rich field for us to prove our loyalty to the cause and our love for Baha'u'llah. But this spiritual crusade which is ended is the first spiritual crusade that is ended. Our job is not finished. We will value this crusade more when we remember the stages we had to pass till we reached in 1953 in the actual first international campaign for the conquest of the world, the spiritual conquest, I mean. The first stage was the stage of enlisting the avowed supporter of the cause. The second stage was a stage of, you can say, mobilization, when beloved guardian raised the institutions, administrative order of the cause. When everything was prepared, in 1953, the general of the Army of Life, our beloved guardian, commanded us to start a campaign. And it is through his guidance and the efforts of his loved ones that now we can see the banner of Ya Baha'u'llah at every corner of the world. We can see them waving to us, welcoming us to the peak of glory, and calling us for a further achievements. When the breeze of mercy coming from the realm of unseen, making these standard of greatest name to wave, they also bring us a message saying, O Army of Life, do not withdraw. O people of Baha, do not abandon the post which so laboriously have taken. Sometimes when we are conscious of our limitations, our lack of resources, and the mighty task before us, we feel it is a very difficult job. It is almost an impossible task to attempt to conquer the world. We know that Baha'u'llah says that he has established an unerring balance by which everything that man possesses must be weighed. I remember in India when recently they changed over to the metric system in weights and measurements. There was more or less a commotion throughout the country because the people did not want to change. If such a simple thing creates so great a resistance, just imagine what we have, what is in store for us when we want to change the all existing standard in all fields, social, economic, political, religious beliefs. But we have done so many things which was seemingly impossible. There is no reason for us to waver in our task, in our efforts. Remember the story of David and Goliath. The army of Israel were confronting with a giant killer. All heroes, all generals were shivering at the thought to engage in battle with him. He had already slain so many of them. When there was not the slightest hope anywhere, there came a young man, a shepherd boy, David. He had no spear to pierce into the shield of the giant. He had no sword to cut through. He came in the field with bare hands. Everybody laughed at him. But he remembered the name of God. In the name of God he took a stone, and in the name of God hurled it at the giant, and that was the end of the giant. We are confronting with giants of materialism, giants of time-honored traditions, and so many isms. There are so many well-equipped organizations in the world, having the backing of the government, trying their best to confront these giants, but they fail. But we, seemingly few people, with not so great resources, we are going to the field, and we will be victorious because the cause of God is victorious upon everything. It is true that this civilization of today is deprived of its spirit, and it is at the verge of its collapse. We know that disintegration, the forces of disintegration are at work to finish up this giant. Sometimes we say that there is a calamity or there is a catastrophe or something. When this calamity comes, and how it comes, or if at all it comes, we are not directly concerned with it. It is something between the giant and God. Our approach towards reconstruction of the world should not be based on this negative aspect. We are not a lazy spectator to sit in a corner, to wait and see. Our approach is quite different. We should try our best to prevent the world from the impending calamity. And potentially we are empowered to do so. Baha'u'llah, perhaps 60 years ago, in many of his tablets revealed that if Baha'is of the world were up to the mark and they were doing what they were expected to do, now the whole world would have been Baha'is. And this now means 60 years ago, 80 years ago, when the tablets were revealed. If the situation of the world is as bad as it is today, at least 50% we are responsible. Moreover, we need not to reason that we are successful. Baha'u'llah has promised that his words have got a creative power in them which influence the world. It is through the power of his words that we are going to conquer the world, not through our limited efforts. And also I would like to recall a verse from the most holy book, Kitab Aqdas, when Baha'u'llah has assured us that this is the cause that in which only heroes, only braves can enter. No weak-hearted person, no coward can enter in this cause. And if we remain Baha'is and we are able to face in our daily lives challenges after challenges, we would have the courage to face every difficulty and to conquer the world. And 10-year plan had given us an indication that it is possible. It was rightly said yesterday by our beloved hand of the cause, Dr. Muhajir, that there were very few people in various countries engaged in actual service, and they produced so great victories. How many of Baha'is of the world are directly associated with the execution of the 10-year plan? Count them. You will be surprised. A couple of hundred or a few hundreds. These few hundreds only have brought us to the stage that we can feel the glory of God in this hall. In India alone, of course I do not want to underestimate the generous contributions, prayers, which occasionally the people used to offer for the execution of the plans. If we are successful, because the entire Baha'i world have helped us to do. But what I mean is the actual job was done by comparatively very few persons. In India, there are 10 to 20 persons who are going day and night in the fields and crying out the glad tidings of God. There are people who go at weekends. There are so many people who are going in various times. But those who are really infusing the spirit and conquering the hearts are very few. We are 6,000 people in this hall. My God, we are really 6,000. It horrifies me. We can be very dangerous. We are 6,000. If we do not rise to give the message to a world which is waiting for us, we have not performed our duty. It is said yesterday again that many people, not one time, two times, hundreds times, they tell us, blame us. And if we leave them alone, they will curse us. They say, you have 100 years this message with you and you are bringing it only now to us. Why you have brought this message so late, they say. When we go in presence of Baha'u'llah, he will put the same question to us, saying that my faith was my trust with you for the whole world. What have you done with my trust? What would be our answer then? Friends, when we go to the masses, we are not making them Baha'is. We are discovering Baha'is among them. They are all ready. There is a young Raja of a small state. There is a young Raja of India who became a Baha'i. He said that he and his estate manager, for many years, they were thinking, if there is a God, he has to do something for his religion. He should not leave us, his children, alone. He said, we were waiting, we were searching, we are going here and there, but we failed to find anything. And we made a convention between ourselves that up to a certain time, if we did not hear anything about a new religion which suits of mankind, we will start the religion ourselves. It shows how the people are expecting us to go and give them the message. The greatest achievement in the 10-year plan, to me, was the upliftment of a veil separated us from the masses of the world. We have recognized now the importance of the masses for the world. These are the people who have started civilization. Among the whole people of the world, a fisherman was chosen by Jesus Christ to be the foundation of his church. He said to the Peter that you are a rock upon which I build my church. What is the characteristic of a rock? It is certainly different with a very elaborate carved marble. It is unshaped, it is humble, but it is firm. The masses of the world are. They are humble, loving, but very firm. If you put them in the edifice of the religion, they will establish this building, the spiritual refuge of mankind. They will take it forever. On the shore of Lake Michigan, there stands the Temple of Light. It is a beautiful building. It is just like a pearl, glittering pearl, emerged out of the sea. The importance of this building is not only because of its majestic structure, or its beauty, or elaborate decoration. The significance of the building, of our temple in Milmet, its importance which will ever remain in the world, is due to a small, unshaped stone, a rock, which blessed by the hand of Abdul Baha as the cornerstone of that building. It is that stone, that unpolished stone, which made this building important and sacred. And this is a symbol for all of us who are working with the masses. It is upon them that we are going to build the temple of mankind, the temple of unity. It is upon them that we are going to bring about the Bahá'í civilization. Already, in the few years that we have experience with them, we have seen that they have already taken the palm of victory from us, all their believers. We should acknowledge that whatever victories is achieved in Africa, in Asia, or in America, is due to the services, to the devotions, to the sincerity of the people themselves who first accepted the cause. We were only an instrument to give the faith to one or two persons. The rest, the job, is being carried out by themselves, because they can value the faith more than us. because they were people who were athirst, and now they had got the water of life. I wish I had time to give some instances. I recall at this moment a beautiful soul, an old man, belonging to a community which once upon a time called untouchables in India. Though the caste system is abolished by law, it is not abolished in practice. But this old man, after becoming a Bahá'í, perhaps for a week or so, decided spontaneously to go to a village occupied by Brahman community who despise these people, to teach the cause. He went. It was too much for the Brahmins to listen to a man who could not even touch them. His shadows also were not accepted in that village. So on the first day, they jeered at him, cursed him, and actually he was beaten by them very hardly. But he said to them, I have made a vow, a convention with myself, that I will not go from this village till at least one Bahá'í is there. He sat under a tree and waited, preached the cause. Second day they came, they gave him some more beating, some more curses, they spat at him. Third day, fourth day, sixth day, but he did not move. After the sixth day, the people at last came to see what on earth is wrong with him. And now half of this village are Baha'is. If we were not going to them, there are so many untold stories. The stories we are coming across accidentally. They do not write to us. They do not take any assumption on themselves. They are so sincere and humble. Even they do not notice that they should report these things which are really gladdening our hearts. We have teachers who cannot walk. They're limping, they are lame. But they say in conferences that we will go on foot. Which foot? The foot which is really is not foot, it is half foot. They're going on the toe. But he says that I will go on foot from village to village and give the message of God. These are the people who are coming to us. We should value them. We should pray God that we may learn sincerity from them. We have seen yesterday some of the fruits of mass conversion here from various nations. I think this is the most colorful, most beautiful bouquet we can offer to the memory of our beloved guardian. And now I think every sacrifice on our part would be worthwhile when we consider the glorious results. It is not difficult for us now, after seeing so many victories, to sacrifice ourselves. It was more difficult for those dawn breakers to give their lives for the cause, because actually they had no vision. They didn't know what they are doing. They didn't know anything about the world order of Baha'u'llah or unity of mankind. Many of them, they have never read anything of the teachings. Many of them, they have never seen Baha'u'llah of the Bab, but they believed in him and willingly sacrificed themselves. Now it is not so difficult for us, because now we can see what we are doing. We can reap the result of our activities almost instantaneously. Talking about sacrifice, we have seen so many examples of sacrifice from these new friends who have come to us. They haven't got anything, but when they come to the cause, they are able to give up their lands, which is the source of their living, so that a Haziratul Quds, a Bahá'í center, may be built for them. It was only a few months ago, in February, that 4 persons of our heroes, while going to the actual service, met with an accident in a jeep and died. One of them was a man called Rajaram Ramdayal Sharma. He was the head of a village, and also in a council of heads he was again head, and 300 village loved him. He was from the highest caste, the Brahman caste in India. And when he became Baha'i, he used to associate himself with everybody just like a true brother. That was the fulfillment of the vision of beloved guardian, who actually told us that in this 10-year plan, the castes, the prejudices, existing prejudices in India, is one of the messages mentioned in India, will be abolished. And this was a manifestation of that. When this man died, we were rather perturbed that the enemies of the cause who are going to organize themselves will play upon the superstition of the people, saying that this was the wrath of God because the man has changed his religion. Recently, because he was very much popular and loved by the people, they offered his post as the headman of a village to his younger brother. And if you consider the state of poverty in the Indian village, you will imagine this post, how is valuable for them. But the man says, I do not want to accept because I have to finish the unfinished work of my brother who has just died for the cause. When we were disposing of the body of another hero in the same jeep to his aged father, he used to console us. We could not control ourselves. But he was consoling us that he has given his life, his only son, given his life for the cause of God. And he beseeched Baha'is, now my son has gone, but you do not forget us. Come again to my village. And now when we wanted to go to the same village, to build a monument for him, they say, why you are wasting your money on monument? You spend this money in a Haziratul Quds so that we can gather and pray for the departed soul. these are the type of sacrifice when the friends, the new friends in the cause, among the beloved masses of the world, accept. There was a youth in the same jeep, a 21 years old, Ne'mat Yeganegi. This boy was a brilliant boy. He was offered a scholarship to one of the great, important colleges of agriculture. He was chosen by the fellow student as the secretary of the Students' Union. Then he suddenly decided that this is the last months of the beloved Guardians Crusade. I have to give up everything and go for the teaching work. And he went like a hero and give his life for the cause. After 10 days, we had a teaching. It only was 10 days, not more than that. After this accident, we had a teaching conference in Mysore. Her mother, the Knight of Baha'u'llah, Mrs. Firuza Yeganegi, who is present in this meeting, talked in a memorial gathering there to the believers who did not know. Her talk was all of encouragement, the necessity of sacrifice. She spoke for about half an hour, and nobody in the audience knew that it was her son that has given his life. And then in a meeting with the NSA, she said that my 2 other sons are quarreling among themselves because both want to go and take the place of their departed brother. This is the spirit which had inflamed India. This is the spirit which has inflamed the world. I need not to talk about the 4th hero of the mass conversion in India. Mr. Boman Mehrabani, the husband of our dear Shirin Boman, who spoke with you the other day. But these departed souls were really sacrificed themselves for a cause which, as Abdul Baha foretold, will take over all India. This is the way these new believers and old believers in the field of mass conversion work for the cause. I don't want to take much of your time, but I have heard a number of complaints from our beloved friends in Arabia, in Europe, in America, that unfortunately the people are not coming to us as they are coming in various parts of the world. I say to them that we have waited 80 long years in India. And what we are achieving today, it is not the production of 1 generation or 2 generations. One thing is certain, that whatever we do in the path of God will not go waste. When Baha'u'llah says that when you in privacy of your chamber, you pray, and the scattering angels will take these prayers, and everlastingly these prayers will have influence in the heart. How can then we conclude that our sincere efforts and sincere services in the path of God will ever go waste? The cause of God, like God himself, is beyond the fetters of time and space. Whatever we do, it will remain. We throw seeds somewhere. We may transfer from that place. We cannot see what would happen. Apparently that seeds is a wastage for us. But the seeds will grow. And when we also are free from the fetter of time and space, and we will go in presence of Baha'u'llah, we will enjoy every minute of what we have done in the past. Our job is to give the message. Our responsibility remains there. As soon as we give the message, the people are responsible to accept it or reject it. It was really quite an experience that we have come to know that how important is our continuous service to the cause of God, regardless of the apparent result or apparent immediate results. Now, friends, it makes all the difference for the world the way we are going to step out of this hall today. When these gates are open, they take us to the first days of the 2nd century of declaration of Baha'u'llah. A century whose culmination, whose climax, was the 10-year plan. A plan which has established a base for us in a higher level. They say when they want to conquer the moon, a platform, a base in the higher space. When we reach to that platform and look back, we will see beautiful horizons blazing with colors, violets, pink, orange, and black. But that platform out there is not for us to go and enjoy the view. It is for our further flight. Such a platform has been established by beloved Guardian in the 10-year plan. When we look back, we will see colorful, beautiful history. We will enjoy every minute of it. But this is not the place for enjoyment only. We have to take our flight further. We have the power to take our flight. We have the courage to take our flight. And we will take our flight. The moon of destiny is shining before us with all its splendor, all its glory.